Alright, part B of the switching from the full-size mic boom stands to the I just bought that extra set where I unboxed these Save on Many, I think they're called, the mini booms that I got off Amazon. And so what I've done, I've removed the full-size booms, which I use for mic stands when I'm jamming with more than one vocalist. They're just put away in my back room. And so I moved my Samsons, which were kind of like mid-size booms, and they are now being used for the overheads, left and right. Got my condensers on there. I think these are the Neweers I got on Amazon. And so they have a slightly smaller bass spread, and then you got the Save on Minis. So there's two of them, one for the snare, one for the hi-hat. I don't know if this will pick it up properly. Snare's in there in between the drum and the stand or the holder, the clamp, whatever. And then hi-hat in here. I put it underneath for the time being. At some point I got to spend some time changing positioning of the mics to find out what works best. I just thought this way I'll get more of the hi-hat, although I may not get the sticking really nicely defined, but not that I do a lot of sticking, but because I have the one crash and the two splashes above it, I'm just thinking I'm going to try this out for a bit and see if it gets just more of the hi-hat, but it might pick up some of the residents of the lower skin of the tom here. And then of course there's the overhead that's going to pick up those cymbals, and it'll get some of the snare too, I'm sure. So anyhow, so down here, so the nice thing again is that the footprint is less, and I've got this, it's a little tight spot here coming in between, and having the wide spread of the regular boom stand just makes it really hard getting in and out. And again, I'm kind of cramped for space in here. This splash, usually it's out, I rotate it back out when I'm in, but I don't want to get stuck between that and my monitor speaker here. So I just stick it in when I'm coming and going. Oops. So yeah, so two mini booms down here, snare and hi-hat. The overhead. I got my clamps on the upper toms. These are Apexes, by the way, not the most expensive, but I bought a kit off of Long McQuaid on sale used. And then I've got a Shure SM57 for the snare. So the kick drum's got two. This is the large Apex that I got with the kit, and it's on the outside. And then I've got an Apex, just a standard dynamic mic in there. And again, the Save on Many, the mini boom, one for here for the kick drum, and then one for the ride, which I've also put underneath at the time, for the time being, just to test it out. And again, hoping to get more of the ride and not the crashes above. And then of course there's the small footprint, or the medium footprint boom that I've got the second newer condenser mic on. Sorry, the light is giving a kind of a cool godly glow there. And that's up here over for these two cymbals, and it'll pick up some ride and snare and tom on the toms. We've got the last two of the Apex clampons, and you know what, they do it. It's not a professional studio here. Like I say, they were on sale in a big kit. I think it was a 6-piece kick drum, 4 toms, and the 2 overheads, 7-piece. And I bought an extra overhead that I was using on the snare before I got the Shure SM57. So now I was using the overhead. I'll show you in a second. Mess of cables here, but otherwise they're all basically bundled up. And it's one batch that goes around to get to all the mics. Makes it a bit cleaner. And then going in, here's the Zoom, the L20 live track. I'll show you that again in a second. So in behind me for vocals, I do have one of my full-size boom stands, but it does have a smaller arm that I ordered. And this boom can extend further, but yeah, it was always the full size. The boom was getting in the way, so I've got a gooseneck at the bottom, or at the end of it. And then there's my fifth. I bought this extra, the Apex clamp on, which I put on here with a right angle mic connector. And that just kind of, you know, with the normal mics, I was getting my hands, it was banging against, or I'd get caught in it, and the cabling and whatnot. So this just kind of minimizes it. I put a foam cover over for the P's and the S's. I don't think it works for the S'ing, but for the, what do they call it? Puffs, pluffs, piffs, paffs, whatever the P thing is, the puss, it helps there. Okay, so that's that one. Then just to give you another angle, there are the Apex clamp-ons for the toms. And I've got these Evans clear heads on, and I love them. This Yamaha, my buddy Doug found it when the guy was bringing it in along to sell it used, and it had some scratches and some dings, but he got it. I paid him for it in the end, and then so now I've got it. This is an extra add-on that I bought from someone off Kijiji for 20 bucks. And you know, I don't even know what the heck make it is, but it's not bad, I think. I don't know if they stained the inside. It was in rough shape, cleaned up the rims a bit, put on some new lugs. Had to get, I think I had to buy longer feet, or maybe I bought the feet for this one. This one here came when it was bought used as a mounted one off a stand, and so I put it on legs, bought all the gear. Now that's a floor tom, 14-inch, 16-inch here. Also lately I bought Dave's, I guess it was for Christmas, the Black Friday stuff. These cymbals, brand new, 18 and 19? No, 17 and 18. And they're thin crashes, and they were on sale at Dave's, which is really great. And I bought the ride used from him years ago. I also bought the Sound Edge hi-hats used from him years ago. And then before I bought these two crashes, I had been buying up Peisty PST7s. I have 3 of them, 2 16s and an 18. And this is the last crash here. At some point I'll get a 16-inch 2002. I really like the PST7 10-inch splash. I have an 8-inch, which I brought over to my buddy Derek's. And then this is a Meinl Pure Alloy Dark that I think I got this on sale from Dave's as well. Love it. Snare drum, Long & McQuaid, Yamaha steel, or whatever the make, whatever it is, steel, brass, aluminum, I don't know. I think it's a steel drum. And put on a nice Evans head on there. But yeah, really liking these clear heads. For a while I was using the Evans calf tones because I'm in a townhouse and, you know, I don't want to disturb the neighbors, and they're kind of mellow. When the kit came, it had black ebony, or there was a mixture of black ebony and satin ambassadors, or emperors. I think they were ambassadors. And they're cool too, but I've switched them out at some point. I also have a set of white, I think they're Remo, unless they're Evans, but I think they're Remo, textured. And that was great for the snare. Not that I do any brushes, but I do have a set of brushes. And I thought, you know, just to be able to try it out, but at the moment, this is the head that's on. So yeah, so there's the mics on the toms. The overheads, again, hoping that it picks up. I haven't really done any tests yet, but hoping that overhead picks up these crashes. And of course it'll get some snare. And the rest of the kit, this one here, will get these crashes and some ride. Hopefully more of the crashes than the ride. Ride has its own. Haven't recorded much with it yet, so we'll have to see. And that's it down at the bottom here. This wasn't supposed to be a kit video, but okay, so it's an Evans, I think it's an EMAD, the one that has the felt or the ring, the plush ring or whatever, the dampening ring. And I have a double kick pedal, Pro Eliminators, that my good buddy gave to me from Orleans. Really appreciate that. Weldon, you're a good man. Give me so much. There's the SM57 on the snare. Again, got to do some experimentation with recording and position it up, down, in, out, and see what comes out best. This is a Tama. Is it the speed? I think it's the Cobra. Anyways, can't see it, but it's a the two-legged stand to get in there. It works well with the kick double pedal. And again, there's this sort of footprint of stands, which makes it a lot nicer and easier to get around in and out, less clutter, because you know everything was banging into each other trying to find the positioning. That is that. And now let's swing around. Oh yeah, there's not much room for me to move around here. My chair is a Tama first chair. Nice. It's got this sort of felty suede top. I've had it for probably a decade. Love it. Heavy duty. It's nice. Great. Comfortable. Oh my god, I could play for hours on it without feeling any pain. Alright, back around to the Zoom L20, the Live Track L20. Love this. I've got pretty much all 16 inputs being used. Guitar, bass. 2 guitars and bass here. Interchangeable. There's one in the back that's not being used. That was a room mic, but I can use that for overdubs for vocals or whatever, so right now it's empty. I've got, actually, there's my mic that I'm using for overdubs hanging down. Where is it? Can you see it? Hanging down in there. And it is plugged into this one at the moment because I was doing some overdubs on What I Like About You. But that's normally the Allen. This one is the one that I showed you with the boom stand behind me, and that usually goes in there. In the back there's 3 more vocals there. So guitars, vocals, and then the drums. You got your snare, kick, the 2 toms. So what I'm doing for now, because I'm running out of space, is my upper toms are paired and my lower toms are paired into one each. To save, I figure I don't have to have, you know, every tom on its own channel. So the uppers in the one, lowers in the other. Then there's hi-hat, ride, and overhead left and right. And these 2 silver ones to the right, those are my mains out, which at the moment are going to, if I want them, inputs on my camera, which I haven't done in a while, but I could put the sound from here directly into the camera, the Zoom Q8. And in the back, it's got 6 separate monitor channels. The 2 on the far left are for my KRKs, Rocket 5s. Got those on stands. And they're pretty all, you know, it's close in, but, you know, I'm sitting here at the drums, and when I'm done, I can move my stool over a little bit, swivel it around, do some mixing. Not the best solution. I'd love to have another place to mix, but for the time being. So yeah, so the first 2 pair go to the Rockets, and the second pair go to the monitors out front. 1 for each, for the people playing if they're with me. And of course I can set different, well here I'll go on. The 5th one is my own in-ear monitors. And then the last one is a spare for someone else if they use in-ear monitors. Okay, and then so down here on the Zoom Live Track, you've got your the 6 ones that are vertical here: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or no, A, B, C, D, E, F. So you can set whatever levels you want to go to that monitor channel, or you can have it all, you know, the main mix to the monitors. What I'm doing, of course, is when people come in and we're singing, just the vocals are going to the monitors. Not the guitars and all that other stuff. And for me, with the in-ears, I like to have a mix of the vocals and some drum and guitar and bass so that I can hear everything. Because with the in-ears in, of course, everything's pretty much blocked. And the first time I didn't even think about it, and I'm thinking, I'm only hearing my vocals. I can't really hear the drums because everything's blocked from the room itself. So yeah, you can set what you want to hear, what each person wants to hear for each channel. So that's cool. Of course, for my KRKs, it's full, it's everything, main mix. And again, for the 2 monitors, it's the vocals only. And for my in-ears, it's vocals plus a small amount of instruments. The other thing is, I was gonna say is, well, yeah, so sometimes, so the first 2 channels get in the shadow, but hopefully you can see the first 2 channels have the switch for high Z or high Z. And so sometimes, like one time, one of the gang brought their bass and didn't bring the amp, so we plugged it direct into the board, which is great, and that's why I've got the bass in the second channel. If someone came with a guitar and didn't bring an amp, they could plug the guitar direct in, so it would be one of the first 2 channels. So I've got guitar and bass in those, in case I need to pull out the mics and put in a, they're combo jacks, so I can put in a 1/4 inch instrument cable. That's that. Here, grab it. Here's my my in-ear. It's a Behringer. Fairly simple, but 2 batteries, and then you've got your volume adjustment. In the bottom, it's a combo jack, so I feed in a 1/4 inch. The one from my monitor over there goes in the bottom here. My in-ears come out there, and I get to clamp that on the back of my belt. I actually just bought a second one because they were on sale off Amazon. So if some person comes over and wants to try it, they can do the in-ears from that too. They're not wireless, but you know what? Send a wire across. Say it's the guy's jamming and he's like right in front of me there. See the cables on the walls? I got plenty of cables, 25 footers. I got some 15s, but take a 25 footer. You have that plugged on your belt pack, and as long as you don't trip on the cable, you know, you just run it around the back of that cabinet there, maybe along the wall, so it's in behind you, and you're good to go. I do have a wash light on the back hanging on this stand. My Aunt Helen's perfectly fitting carpet. Oh, and I've got the pedal for the live track here, mixer here, which I can set to either turning on or off effects or recording, playback, etc. Just set what you want it to be. I think that's about all I'm going to show you for now. My monitors. They're Behringer, Mackie Thumps 12As. Yeah, so that's the layout. I also bought on Amazon all these acoustic foam pieces, tiles, and glue gunned them to the wall. And so that really helps. Another wonderful gift from my buddy Weldon is the cabinet that I'm using to house all the gear. Normally this is in here. So I've got a computer if I ever want to do some DAW work. Mostly right now the computer is there for YouTube and put my effects images, graphics up onto the TV I've mounted up there in the ceiling. TV swivels both ways, so if I want lyrics, I can have it swivel towards me at the drums. If the guys want lyrics, it's just that way flat, and they can see them from wherever they are. If I'm standing here, I can swivel it towards me, this way, to the right, whichever. Then I got the cases for those, the bottom ones for the big mic set for the drums. Second one is where I'm putting all my Sheriff 757s, because I've got 4 of them now. Those are the newer condenser mics. Some old cardiodynamic mics. Boxes for the in-ears. My camera or camcorder, and other gadgets in there. And then of course the tabletop's nice. Keyboard goes up there. So the camera and the mixer use SD cards, and they use full sizers, and I have sometimes used the minis in the adapters, but I'm kind of liking just buying up these regular size SD cards, but they are the top of the, well, not top of the line maybe, but you know, they're what I can afford as fast as I can get it for the time being. And I have different ones, one for myself, one with Doug Chicken Pickers, one for Derek and me, one for Jason and me, and then there was a couple for our original Damaged Youth group, but that's kind of defunct now. What else? Camera tripod. These are the cables I was using to test my camera out with the kick drum snare and overheads, because I've got an adapter to do 4 inputs now. More about that in another video. Yeah, so that's that. Oh yeah, and of course the soundproofing on the walls over there too. Curtains in behind the drums, that was the original thing. Then I got the soundproof tiles, decided to just do this section, that section. It's pretty cool looking too. And then of course the brick facade was there before I did all my renovations in here, but the bottom was, I don't know, wainscoting or something weird. And I took that down, I put up the barn board, I stuffed the Rockwell sound insulation in up behind, so that whole wall is insulated. Ceiling, Rockwell insulations to the hilt. And oh yeah, so lately I've put up a curtain rod with hooks, and I bought a moving blanket, and I bought the largest one I could get for the price, like it was about 60 bucks. And it was up until the other day. I took it down just to air this place out, whatever, because it's kind of in the way. But yeah, if I want to do some more soundproofing from the drums when I'm jamming, or if someone's over in that section and we're recording but we don't want as much drum bleed into their vocal mic, so they're going to do some overdubs, so they're doing some acoustic guitar recording, I put the blanket up if I'm playing along at the same time, and then they can sit over there and record with the blanket up. And if I'm playing or practicing and I'm alone, I could put the blanket up, which blocks, you know, this whole section here, and just muffles the sound a little bit for my neighbors. The neighbor on this side over here is a young guy who has a drum set, so I don't really care, and he's never really around on a Saturday afternoon, which is mostly the only time I'll play or jam. But the folks next to the other side, as loud as they all are themselves, I don't want to annoy them too much, so I do try to do them the favor. A little bit of me in the mirror there. What else? And I did put some on the back of the door because I had some spare. I don't know, again, if that helps, but usually when we jam, the door's closed, so just a little bit extra sound absorption. And of course, as mentioned earlier, there's all my cables hanging on this IKEA rack. Lots of extra XLRs, 1/4 inch. And yeah, so that's the music room, which was just supposed to be what I did with my drum boom stands. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.